There was a tragic incident in Iraq today that is a stark reminder that while the demands on U.S. forces in Iraq may be diminishing, the mental stress on service members remains high. A soldier this afternoon opened fire in a clinic in Baghdad that was treating military personnel for stress and suicide prevention. 5 American soldiers were killed, 4 others wounded, including the shooter, who is in custody. It was the worst case of soldier-on-soldier violence since this war began. ABC's Martha Raddatz with us now.
This is the entrance into our facility here in Camp Liberty.
It was just days ago that Lieutenant Colonel Beth Salisbury showed ABC News the very same Combat Stress Control Center where today's horrific shooting took place.
They will sign in at our front desk. They'll be greeted by our staff here.
Salisbury, who runs the center, was not hurt in today's shooting, but of the dead, 2 were on her clinical staff and 3 were soldiers waiting for treatment. The shooter, who officials say is a sergeant on his 3rd deployment to Iraq, went on a rampage down these hallways and offices in one of the few places where those who were attacked would not have been armed.
Their weapons are taken for safety, and we secure those here for the safety of our staff and themselves.
The sergeant being held for the murders is married and based in Germany. ABC News has learned he had been having problems during his deployment. Initial indications are that he did not seek mental health treatment voluntarily, but that his unit had referred him for care. It is unclear whether he had yet received treatment. Colonel Salisbury said recently soldiers are encouraged to look for signs of stress in others.
The great thing is to have a leader bring in a soldier, come in, leadership staff, and come in and ask us how that we can help them take care of their soldiers.
These centers are part of the response to a dramatic spike in Army suicides, a record 143 in the last year. Today, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff said the shooting will be investigated to see if the stress of multiple and frequent deployments contributed to it.
It speaks to the issue of multiple deployments, increasing dwell time, all those things that we're focused on to try to improve, to relieve that stress.
It can't be understated what a terrible blow to any unit this is when soldiers are killed by fellow soldiers, especially soldiers who were trying to help others. Charlie?
A tragic accident. Martha Raddatz down in Washington. And Martha, while I've got you, one other story I want to ask you about. The top U.S. general in Afghanistan is being removed from his command, we've learned. How come?
He certainly is. And you have to say this, Charlie. General David McKiernan has been fired. There is no other word for it. Secretary Gates, the Defense Secretary Robert Gates, said today he is looking for a fresh approach, a fresh look, and he is putting in that position Stan McChrystal. He is a lieutenant general. He will be getting a 4th star if approved. But Stan McChrystal is a star, but this is truly an earthquake. This does not happen very often, that a top general is fired.
And McChrystal comes from Special Forces, right?
He comes from Special Forces. Right now, he is the director of the Joint Staff, but he does have that background, and that is a very valuable background in this war.
All right, Martha Raddatz again in Washington. Thanks.